Hey guys, BrickWizard59 here, and today I want to come at you with another awesome LEGO custom minifigure review. And these are my LEGO James Bond custom minifigures. So these are actually version 2 of my James Bond minifigures. As my previous video, I actually had the main 4 actors, but in this one I've actually got all 6 of the James Bond actors. So from left to right, we have Sean Connery as James Bond, George Lazenby as James Bond, Roger Moore as James Bond, Timothy Dalton's James Bond, Pierce Brosnan's James Bond, and the newest one, Daniel Craig's James Bond. So each of these figures are different compared to the last video, as each figure, of course, has their custom parts that make it unique. And I tried to make it as accurate as possible. So in each individual minifig review, I will actually be showing you the images of the actual actors, just so I can show you how they compare. But without further ado, let's dive into a closer look. Alright, so first off, we will start off with Sean Connery's James Bond. So once again, I will have a couple of images on the screen. But you can see here he is, of course, wearing the nice torso, which has the bow tie. That is actually from the collectible series, Series 1 Waiter minifigure. And you can see he does have a customized, or custom face. So this is actually the clone trooper, or the stormtrooper face, from the Star Wars Rebels Stormtrooper Battle Pack. But I did, of course, erase the markings below the chin and above the eyebrows. And you could see he has that type of like smirk like he does in the movies. And of course, then his hairpiece is custom, as this is actually one of the Draco Malfoy hairpieces. Actually, this is the hairpiece that he has. This is like the one that Daniel Craig has. Except I did actually shave off that little like fin like in the front, and then I actually had to repaint it all black, and that was actually made using the like acrylic paint. And all in all, he looks pretty good. Here we have George Lazenby's James Bond, and he was actually in one James Bond movie, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Sadly, he decided not to come back, even though he did get actually a 7-movie contract. But this is my interpretation. Now, I didn't have too much to go off of, because unlike the other Bonds who have different hairstyles and different looks in different movies, this one only has it has pretty much the same look throughout the movie. So this is my best interpretation. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the headpiece here, but I think it looks decent. This is actually one of the Pirates of the Caribbean Cook headpieces, except I did paint the eyebrows black and actually removed his like cheekbones. Then you can see he has the suit on the front, and of course no back printing on the back. And so he also has that kind of like smirk like he does in the movie. And I think it's a decent portrayal of him. Here we have Sir Roger Moore's James Bond. And this is a pretty decent figure here. You could see he is the only Bond who has brown hair. And you could see I did, of course, have the same Cook face like Lazenby's minifigure here, except I did actually not modify it. And then the headpiece is actually a bit modified. This is the hairpiece, which is found in quite a few sets, except I did like shave some of the hair off just to give it a bit more of a smooth look. And I think that looks pretty good. It's a pretty accurate portrayal. Then you can see I have the suit as in the other James Bond, and again, no back printing. But that is Sir Roger Moore's James Bond. Here we have Timothy Dalton's James Bond, and I am actually pretty happy with this figure because I feel this is I really was able to portray Timothy Dalton's looks on this figure. Now, of course, this was actually one of the tougher ones because Timothy Dalton, as you can see here on the images, the hairstyle is unique. It's like the bangs are going to one side, so that was actually quite difficult to get a hairpiece. I eventually settled for the Anakin Skywalker hairpiece, except I actually shaved off some of the like bangs that he had coming on the front, and then I also shaved off some of the hair on the side that kept on sticking out, and that's just to, you know, give it a bit of a more nicer look. And then I of course painted it black, and I mean, all in all, it's a pretty accurate portrayal. And I also really like the face. This is actually the Anakin Skywalker face, except with painted black eyebrows. And you could see the picture on the right, the one where he's in the black jacket. That face really matches. I feel like it's a pretty accurate portrayal, as that face is definitely almost alike to that image. But that's Timothy Dalton. Here we got Pierce Brosnan's James Bond, and this one I like, but then again I don't like. I really love the hairpiece. Like the hairpiece, as you could see, the picture on the right, the hairpiece is like picture perfect, where he has that small, like the hair goes to the middle of the forehead, and then he has like the combed back hair. So I feel like it's like definitely a very good portrayal. The headpiece, on the other hand, looks alright. It's not completely accurate to Pierce Brosnan, but I mean, there wasn't really a hairpiece that was actually, or a headpiece that really matched Brosnan's looks. And then he, of course, has the suit, but it's a bit, it's like opened, like one of the buttons are opened. It's like a bit more casual, because, you know, even though Brosnan, his Bonds, they didn't wear suits all the time. He was a bit more casual, so that's why I chose this suit for him. And then again, he has no back printing. Now the hairpiece actually is like the Senator Amidala hairpiece from the Malevolence, which I actually took out the ponytail, and then I actually sanded it off, and then I actually painted the hairpiece black. But all in all, I think it's a pretty decent portrayal of Pierce Brosnan. And finally, we of course have Daniel Craig's James Bond. And this is also another figure I'm very happy with, because I feel like I really got his portrayal. As this is actually a Agent Callus minifigure head, except I did remove the beard, and I think it looks great. So you could see the picture from the Spectre poster. I did pretty much exactly that, with the white suit, black pants, and then he also has that kind of like angry look. I chose this headpiece because, you know, unlike the other James Bonds, Daniel Craig's movies are a bit more like realistic, and really like show the more like harsh side of James Bond. So he isn't always smiling all the time. So I thought that was a pretty good headpiece. And actually, that look that he has on his head is actually the exact same as the one from the Spectre movie poster. So I really thought that'd be a pretty good hairpiece. On the back, once again, he has no back printing, but that is Daniel Craig. Lastly, these are just another couple customs I made. We got M and Q, and so M is of course played by Judi Dench, and then we got Q from the original James Bond movies. And I think they look pretty decent here, as M actually has the Professor McGonagall face and a gray painted hairpiece. And then Q actually is the one that I have not done anything. That's actually the Dumbledore's head, and he's wearing the tan suit. Then of course Q has a bit of back printing. And I mean, yeah, so I thought, what could James Bond be without M and Q? So I just wanted to show you those two customs as well. And that's going to do it for the review of my LEGO Custom James Bond minifigures. So thank you so much for watching this video. Definitely give this a thumbs up if you are a James Bond fan or a LEGO fan in general. And definitely stay tuned and subscribe for more LEGO customs coming very soon. So this is BrickWizard59. I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.